not that long ago that thousands of us were looking abroad for sun-soaked bargains in the hope of making a profit or just having a getaway somewhere warm. But many of those who invested may now be regretting it as the credit crunch hits the holiday home market. So does it have to be a huge expense, and are there still bargains to be had? Well, Fiona McLaughlin from privateseller.ie is here to tell us more. Good morning to Fiona.
Good morning, Alan.
And we are talking about literally thousands of Irish people, because it was the big thing for a couple of years that people were buying second homes, especially in Spain along the Costa del Sol and places like that.
Well, to be honest, they were buying all over the world, really. You know, we were at the forefront of investing, and there are literally thousands and thousands of people in Ireland with a second property, either here or abroad. And unfortunately, a lot of people that were buying weren't running with the normal investor rules, like looking at the yields and the rate of return that they were going to get. Instead, a lot of people, as you know, were buying off plan and looking for quick flips, or looking for depending on the capital appreciation. Unfortunately, that's not happening now right across the world, basically.
Especially in some parts of Spain, it's dropped dramatically.
But it's happening all over. Spain suffered particularly because of the bad press and because of corruption,
and especially
and
along the Costa del Sol. I mean, the scandals down there just rocked the prices.
And there's been a relevant ruling actually this week from the European Union, and whether or not that's going to be imposed on Spain remains to be seen. But yes, there's a lot to be filtered out. But because of the major problems in Spain at the moment as well, on the flip side of that is that you're seeing investor activity going into Spain. There's a host of services now opening up. Experts in distressed property opportunities. This is a new term for it. But basically, it just highlights the fact that so many people are in distress with second properties or with investment properties, that people are coming up with ideas in terms of how to salvage them out of it. So there are a variety of syndicates that you can actually go to now, whether it's there's a range of them. Deluxe Properties is a syndicate that's buying back properties in predetermined locations in Dubai, for example. That's just one. French Homes Direct is actually dealing with people who've bought lease-back properties, and they'll actually, for €395, go and talk to the builder. We were talking about management companies last week. They'll go and talk to the management company and that type of thing. So there are a host of things that you can actually look at. But one of the things that we're going to look at...
If you have bought a property down in Spain or Bulgaria or anywhere like that, or Dubai, and now you're in difficulty, it's not being let out, what can you do?
Well, you can either go to one of these new companies, and we'll have a list of them on the Private Seller website, and they will actually talk through the whole process of whether they're interested or not in buying back your property or in getting your property sold, maybe at something like the property auction. On the other hand, you can decide to let your property. People are going to have to get off their butts and do something about getting this property to make some sort of a return for them, and they're going to have to start letting them out, which I know a lot of people aren't doing. So you can either do it on if it's a short-term holiday rental, you can do it on something like Holidays Direct, you can do it on sites like privateseller.ie, or you can actually go to agents that are actually situated within the country that you're actually letting the property. So for example, Tower Property Services operates within Hungary, and they will actually manage and let your property for you. So you need to start doing a little bit of homework and a little bit of work to get going.
Really do. Now, swap you.
Swap you.
Swap you.
Yeah. I mean, this is basically, if you're still not interested in letting your property, consider get some return from it. If you have a property, let's say in Croatia, HomeLinkIreland.ie is a well-known house swapping website, and people tend to think of it in terms of swapping their own Irish house. But you could look at swapping, if you have an overseas property, swapping your overseas property, and it's pretty straightforward. It is entirely based on trust, but you're dependent on both sides.
That you've been doing, like people have been doing it for years, swapping their Irish home, going to America or to France or whatever.
Absolutely, that's exactly the way
built up reputation with families, and they just swap their home for 2 weeks.
And it seems to work very well. So if you're not going to get some rental return out of it, at least get the value of a vacation somewhere.
Exactly. You could be in somebody else's lovely home, and they're using your apartment or something in Spain or Bulgaria.
And you come up with a great idea earlier on, which is talk to your other friends who have properties overseas.
Like if somebody has Spain, somebody's in France, somebody sort of said, well, you take my house in Spain, I'll take yours, and build up a whole little network.
You don't even need to know them that well, but if you're aware of people that have properties and everybody's, in the situation that they're not able to rent it out or whatever, then it's worth approaching them, having a chat with them and seeing if they'd be interested in starting up a swap.
At least you're in a different country and you're having a different holiday.
Exactly, yeah.
So
who knows where you'll end went up.
Let's have a look at the home market, because the home market has dropped substantially.
The home market, absolutely, it's the same situation here. If you own a second home in Ireland, you're in a pretty bad situation as well.
And now they want to tax them as well.
At the moment, and now they want to tax them as well. The €200, and it's not even the €200 property levy; it's the likelihood of that going up.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a disincentive for people. On the flip side, again, if you're serious about having a holiday home in Ireland, now is a good time to look. There's so little happening in Kerry
the gas
at the moment.
thing is, isn't it? Sorry to interrupt you.
That's
okay. The funny thing is that if you have a few bob in the bank and you were looking for a holiday home in Spain, now's the time to be bloody going out and buying.
I know property agents, property buyers, that people are coming to them saying, I've 70 grand or I've 100 grand in cash. I'm petrified of putting it into the bank. I'm definitely not putting it into shares. What can I do? Can I get anything for this sort of money?
So, a one-bedroom apartment somewhere.
You can. One of the biggest sellers over the next few years are going to be distressed properties, where people might say it's not a good place to buy or not a particularly good location, but if something is so low, it has to become of value at some point.
A one-bedroom apartment in Torremolina, somewhere like that.
In southern Spain.
And you're just saying, and you're going to go down there for the rest of your life?
And if you can get it for 70,000, and it's in a place that you're happy to go to, and you can travel there easily, and cheap flights and all the rest, then it has to be of value to somebody.
Let's have a look at how stuff has gone down in Ireland. In Donegal, prices down approximately 23%, down up to 50% in West Cork, which I thought would be a beautiful part of the country that would have maintained some of its value.
And the research that I did, it's 30 to 50% from its peak. And this is really at, what you can get the properties for. They're saying this is not asking prices. The 23% in Donegal, they're saying, is based on asking prices. So there's a little bit of a disparity between the two there. County Kerry, there weren't enough sales in County Kerry to be able to adjudicate on how far down it has actually gone. So just nothing selling. So as I said, the flip side is if you were longing for a holiday home in Ireland, it's a very good time to be looking.
Privateseller.ie, all the information as always,
all the website
addresses and everything on that. So give that a quick look later on if you're interested in that, Fiona. Thank you very much for that. Now, coming up after 9, we were